We are using fire, we are using a student fraternity to fight against this mode of learning. And I'm ready to sacrifice for whatever it takes. I'll be at the front line. Whatever it will take, John Boyde will be at the front line. For the noble cause, Kyambogo students join us. BSU, they are ready. Me losing as the Guru president, actually, it was God's grace that I became so vibrant. Even other universities in the Western region, they are all looking at John Boyde. They are picking a lead. And I want to take that. BSU, they are all joining us. Actually, we are looking, many people are calling. They want to be in people power. Even we have a candidate whom I'm just going to do groundwork to see if he's capable, if he's noob. Other universities like KU, Nyamitanga, they are all yearning to be part of us, and I'm ready. Actually, in the 3 weeks period, I want to start a noob chapter at Magere University of Science and Technology that is student-centered. In a period of 4 weeks, I'll invite you to come and allow us to start the chapter. And that chapter will prove a new leader. Me, I lost, but I know the next Guru president will win. I will do whatever it takes. I will be on the groundwork, all the support that I had. Through NUP, we are going to win mask and we are going to take over the Western region. Thank you so much.
Masters hoy, Master hoy, Kyambogo hoy, Kyambogo hoy, ra, cha, pa, da, da. Yeah, women of valor and men of valor, allow me send this message as we call upon Mazira John Senior. That this was not a normal campaign, but was a protest vote. Ideally, I think everyone knows that. It is self-explanatory. As much as it was cumbersome, but Mazira John Senior, his aggressiveness, his defiance, and being that he's fearless, he managed to bring this win and victory here. This is not only Kyambogo's victory, but all of us. It was a revolutionary win. Kyambogo zoe, Kyambogo zoe, ra, cha, Beautiful ladies, hoy. I want to hear your voices. Beautiful ladies, hoy. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome the man and only Mazira John Senior. My name is
People power. People power. Our power. People power. A 10th president. Oh. His Excellency Bobi Wine. Oh. His Excellency Kyagulanyi. Oh. Thank you so much. Our 10th president, the Secretary General, our senior colleagues, Honorable Member of Parliament, and the councillors around, I greet you. We are due in this sprint to have reached this place a bit late, but it was so disturbing for us to strike a balance on who should we bring and whom should we leave behind. However, we had to make it that we ensure the inclusiveness, that we could represent each and every group of individuals. We apologize for that, and we pray to be disciplined, the students, disciplined the Ugandans come the next time. We come to you not as just students of Kyambogo University, but as the daughters and the sons of the peasants, the border riders, the mothers in the markets, those ones in the gardens, even those ones who roast yellow banana along the roadside, even those ones in Owino, and even those who run restaurants. Those are our mothers. That's why we realized that we had the strength to change the status quo, as we have already said. And all these people, it's just a representation of many other students who have been standing in solidarity with us, but they couldn't make it here. Some were not in a position to contribute to their coming. Others have been having tests, and so many. The program was on a short notice, but they would have wished to join hands as we come to share with you, Your Excellency. It is also evident that we have been having a number of challenges, most especially when it comes to the education system. They have not just started yesterday. They have been recurring, and some are chronological problems. But we have a conviction, as you have already said, that it is this generation that must change the things. We are not blaming our parents for not playing their part. We are not blaming our ancestors for not playing their part, simply because, as one man said, that we shall not blame those who don't agree with us, simply because even us one time were like that. So we do believe maybe they did not realize they need to address that, but you have opened our eyes, you have opened our ears, most importantly, our souls, to realize that there is a need for us to come out and make sure that we change the status quo. Your Excellency, I present you not just a victory for Kyambogo University, but a victory for students of Uganda, the nation, most especially our parents. And I present you part of the team ready to make sure that we lead a revolution through the education system to the entire nation. We are so humbled. We want to send a vote of thanks to Councillor Lewis Rubongoya. He has been there with us in terms of support financially, materially, and even moral guidance. We thank General Sauda. I can't forget that. By the way, General Sauda is our OG at Kyambogo University, and he mentored some of us in activism. We thank our Honorable in absentia, that is Honorable Mukasa Alozias. He has done great work to ensure that materially we are somewhere, even in terms of finance. We also thank other honorable members who have been extending their hands towards ensuring that this campaign is a success. I can't forget my fellow students who at times appear not to be students, like General Musiri, Lugumayo, and also His Excellency Katerega in his absentia. They have been there with us, but it is so unique that this time around we got a delegation from Barara University to come and stand in solidarity with Kyambogo University, simply because we are realizing that the problems which are affecting us cut across and they are all saturated by the same perpetrators. So we realize that as individual institutions, we cannot address these problems. But once we unite as the entire students community, countrywide, definitely we shall come up with a solution, and we are the solution to that. We once come back again to drink from your pot of wisdom. We have been playing our part wherever we are, but my fellow sisters and brothers, my fellow students, the ladies here and the gentlemen, I've always wished to hear from you physically. And they are here to drink from your pot of wisdom as we are going to go back to ensure that the campaign is a success. Simply because the problems affecting us, they affect them. And some are our guardians, some even are our parents, but most importantly, some are graduates who graduate and they don't get jobs, they keep roaming around the Banda community where Kyambogo University is located. I think we have come with one of the counselors there who has been with us, supporting us from day one, materially, still, morally, and in any other way. I will not take a lot of time, but we are so appreciative for having welcomed us in this place. Since this is a state house, we surely believe that we are going to reclaim for our victory. We are still on the cause simply because we know all of these problems we are having, there is one single problem, and that is the dictatorship which has infiltrated the institutions of learning, the institutions of governance, and even the courts of law. So we come before you, drink from your cup of wisdom. I thank you so much. I remain Ambassador John Senior, Guilty President-elect, Kyambogo University. Thank you.
My name is
John Senior.
My name is
John Senior.
You can imagine how selfish he is. Your Excellency, The only culture that we try to inculcate in each and every student is only revolutionary. But I can't go any further without introducing one of us who is now an honorable Nyeko Derrick from Machinde East. Dear students is just one of us. Our comrades, without taking any more time, unfortunately, ST is still very busy. But Your Excellency, what we have learned from the history and the preamble of Uganda is only one, that is better we get good presidents that can so further act as activists than having good presidents in all institutions, but when something happens in the State House, and more so on our current President of the Republic of Uganda, Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi, alias Bobi Wine, no one even steps out of the door. But His Excellency Mbazira, His Excellency JJ Bwenje, we only count on them, and ideally I believe they will be very responsible to us. Therefore, as I take this pressure to call upon our one and only, because there is only one Secretary General in this country of NUP, and that's none other than SG Dr. Ruiz Ruongoya. Thank you so much.
People power? Power. Hey, am I really addressing students? Hey. People power? Power. People power? Power. NUP? Everywhere. Everywhere. NUP. Yeah, comrades, the president has stepped away a bit, but the Honorable Member of Parliament, Derrick Nyeko, Mr. President, I forgot to introduce my brother here, Musili David, Commander Sauda Madada, and a brother from Barara, Comrade ATM. There's that other troublemaker behind there called Sasi Marvin, who has decided to hide himself. Mr. President, you are while I started addressing these comrades, I'm very delighted to stand before you. As a former students leader, I understand the importance of students leadership and the value of it. It's very, very unfortunate that you guys came late, because we had prepared to address you and be here with you for a very long time. But unfortunately, because you came really, really late, we had to actually, we were driving out. And then the president said, since these comrades are here already, let me go back and say hello to them. But we had wanted to spend a lot of time with you to talk about many things. But for me, what I'll talk about is just one element. That when I see you, I just do not see students of Kyambogo University. I do not see a campaign team for our comrade Mbazira John. When I see you seated here in your numbers, I see Ugandans, young Ugandans, and I see you comrades here who represent the majority of the people of Uganda. I see a new consensus. I see a generation that is going to change this country. I see a generation which has a very, very big responsibility. The responsibility ahead of us is enormous, and it is going to be up to us to either betray it or fulfill it. You all know what Franz Fanon said, that each generation must be able to discover its mission and betray it or fulfill it. Now, some of us, of course, we are doing our best within our means to try and cause that change that we so much desire. But I'm sure most of you are in your 20s, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe, I don't know if someone here is 18 or 19, but majority of you are in your 20s. And I can tell you that Uganda is simply on your shoulders. In just a few years, maybe 2 years or 1 year or whatever, you'll be out of Kyambogo University, you'll be out of Barara University, you'll be a citizen out there, and you're going to face the challenges which majority of the Ugandans are facing. The millions of Ugandans who have gone to school but cannot find a job, but cannot find an opportunity out there. You're going to go out there, and many of you, I'm glad to hear this brother locate you as sons and daughters of poor people, of peasants. You know, your parents have sacrificed a lot. They think that when you come out of school, you should be able to turn around their fortunes. Unfortunately, if the situation remains as it is, you're also going to be there having no solution. Therefore, my invitation to you, comrades, today, the microphone is not very good. My invitation to you, comrades, is to get involved in the liberation struggle of our country. Our country needs change. And not just our struggle is not just getting out General Museveni. No, our struggle is about making lives better for all citizens, for your mothers, for your fathers. We want to live in a country where there's equality, where if you walk into somebody's office and you're asking for a job, you'll not be disadvantaged because of your first name or your last name. We want to have a country where, you know, the healthcare functions, the education system works. I'm told that you guys have been struggling to change the education system, but you're busy studying things which maybe you'll not even be able to apply out there because of the system that we have. Me, when I was studying, we used to have political education, and there was a value of political education. There's a reason why we had political education. But because of what it was doing to many of us and being able to politicize us, the government banned it. But we must be able to understand the nexus between education and governance. It really, really saddens me to see that we have very many people who are getting education, but their interest in changing the country, in applying their knowledge to changing society is still low. So I wanted to tell you that, yes, congratulations, you made it, you won, you have a guild president-elect here. But this is not the end of the struggle. This is only a beginning. This is just a beginning. And we hope that you comrades in your respective areas, in your hall of residence, in your hostel, out there, make sure every single day you ask yourself, what have I done to improve the conditions of our people? Regardless of where you come from, you may come from Kapchorwa, another person may come from Chisoro, another person may come from wherever. But when you look back at those people that you left in those areas, you realize that they're not living a quality life, and because of the question of governance. Please pick interest. Read newspapers. One time I read newspapers of about a year. I just got a pile of all newspapers that had come out in a year, and I realized that there was no single newspaper that comes out in this country, and there's no big corruption scandal. That money should be improving the lives of our parents, of our mothers, of our fathers, of our children, even the children that we are yet to have. Because they should be able to find a better country than the one that we have currently. So comrades, my call on you is, the struggle is real, the struggle is on. Do not, the Bible says, that those who know, who read the Bible, that a person who is enlisted to fight should not involve themselves in simple matters. I'm sure the president will speak about other things. But if you have a vision, there are many distractions for young people in this country. Very, very many distractions. Before lockdown, I used to pass by Acacia, and sometimes I would feel very, very sad because of our country. There is a headline on one hand saying someone has stolen 340 billions. A headline in the newspapers. But what are the young people doing? Dancing the night away. And that's what has been happening for most of the time. I'm not saying that you should not have fun. But after having that fun, ask yourself, where is our country going? And every day ask yourself, what am I doing to change things in my country? I thank you.
People power! Our power! People power! Our power!
People power!
Our power!
Our power!
People power!
Kyambogo Ra! Ja! Dear ladies and gentlemen, let us have a hand of applause to our SD. Your Excellency, I amicably beg that I can show you just a quick one. Just our team that we worked together. Their assembly. Please, if you are somewhere there, please just stand up. He's Matovu. This guy, just because we don't have time, he has a lot. He's Matovu. There is Salongo, Roy Rugumayo. He's around there. That guy is a chemist. Your Excellency. If chemical engineering was a course, psychology, you would be taking that one. Just next to you, there is a man called ATM, the other ATM machine that only drops coins. He's one of them. Your Excellency, we have our general. We pray, Your Excellency, that he can be promoted to a field marshal because we have a lot of generals around. And in absentia, we have KJ, our Excellence of Magere University, who was almost becoming a life guilty president of Magere University. You can imagine, for 3 years he has been our guild. Therefore, I want to take this pressure. It is very unfortunate. I don't feel like I fit to call our current President of the Republic of Uganda, that's His Excellency Robert Sentamu Kyagulanyi, the President that has defied all odds against him. Let's have a round of applause. I don't hear you. Kyambogo Bakyaliddeko. I don't hear the vibe. Kyambogo Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our one and only, our current President of the Republic of Uganda. Thank you so much. We are humbled to have you.
Thank you, Comrade Musili. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you very warmly, brothers and sisters. For starters, just like the Secretary General mentioned, you would have probably found me gone. We had expected you at 10 o'clock, but we understand the challenges that you face because we were in constant communication. Unfortunately, we had set up a meeting much earlier at midday, which we kept pushing ahead. And indeed, when we saw you arriving, it was very important that we hold the next meeting a little more so I can be able to talk to you. Why? Because I think you comrades are very important people. Very, very important. But before I even proceed, allow me to congratulate my brother Wenje for having completed the run. It's unfortunate you didn't win, but everything that God puts in our way is an advantage. I'm glad that it was one of the forces of change that took the day. But again, like Mike Tyson, who I like very much, one time said that you get knocked down 100 times, you get up 100 times, you learn 100 lessons. In the same spirit, I want to congratulate my brother Ambassador John Senior. My name is
John Senior.
My name is
Ambassador John Senior.
Congratulations, Mr. President. Friends, especially you from Kyambogo, what you did was unprecedented. What you did was a very revolutionary act. The entire world was watching the impunity that does not only stop in the police, in the military, in the courts of law, but it has gone in all institutions here in Uganda. It is disturbing to see that an institution of learning can actually operate on utmost impunity, refusing to put an image of a presidential candidate, of a guild presidential candidate, simply because they don't like the way he's dressed, not because it's anchored in any law. That father spoke to us, ladies and gentlemen. But what you guys did should be emulated by many other institutions of learning. Congratulations again, my brother. You won amidst all odds. You defied them. And that is revolutionary. I want to thank the entire team. I want to thank Comrade Sauda Madada, Comrade Musiri, President KJ, for giving the support. That is what we always require. Teamwork at its best. Now, like the SG has mentioned to you, I intended to be with you for only 5 minutes, but you see, we're going into an hour. And I don't want to leave you guys. Why? Because every time I get an opportunity to talk to young people, I feel like emptying myself into their minds.
Wow. Thank you.
Friends, in the past, it was only university students that were expected to understand the goings-on in the country. It is only university students that were striking and protesting against taxation, against corruption scandals, etc., etc. It was only a period when the nation reached a stalemate. Like SG, and I'll quote him once again. We were always disturbed by what he mentioned, always finding young people less concerned about the problems of the country. Not a day passes without a huge corruption scandal. Hundreds of billions stolen, the money that is supposed to be helping the nation. Back then, it was university students that knew about that. But there came a time even when the university students retreated. Friends, I was raised, one, by young people, but most importantly, by the poor people, by the ghetto people. And when our newly elected president mentioned that most of you, the majority of you, are children, are sons and daughters of the common people, the boda riders, the chapati seekers, the market workers, the ordinary men and women of this, our country. So I want to believe that in this, our generation, we have a connection between the land, between the knowledgeable people and the majority, who are the poor, common people. That is what we represent. We just went through an election that also was, an exhibition of impunity, of murder, of lawlessness. We're all aware that the people of Uganda raised their voice. You are all aware that our people asserted their voices. But again, you know that like all other institutions have been, compromised. The Electoral Commission announced something completely different from what the people of Uganda say. And not only was that wrong, but even when we went to the courts of law, you all saw what the Chief Justice did and said. That further speaks to us that we are on our own. But what does that mean? When we say we are on our own, we are talking about all the people of Uganda. But unfortunately, and also fortunately for you, is that all this is anchored on your shoulders. Whenever there's a problem, we look at the elite. In this case, we don't look at the lawyers, we don't look at the doctors, we don't look at the members of parliament, we don't look at the so-called intellectuals that we see. We look at the young people like you. You have such a load on your shoulders because you are young and you are aware. They say ignorance is bliss. You don't have that luxury of that bliss because you are not ignorant. You know what the problem of our country is. And that is why I told you that when I get an opportunity to talk to young people, I feel like emptying myself into their minds. Friends, we have a challenge as a generation. While we celebrate our win, we are only supposed to celebrate the fact that we know what the problem is. Franz Fanon was quoted here that every generation must know its mission and either accomplish it or betray it. We are past the first step. We know our mission as a generation. That is to transform this, our country, Uganda. That is to make sure that this is indeed our country as a citizenry, as the people. Not a country of the soldiers, not a country of one family, not a country of the few. You are aware that where you are is not who you are. You are first world brains stuck in a third world country. But again, I also refuse to believe that we are stuck in a third world country. I only am convinced of recent that we are stuck with third world leaders. We are stuck with leaders who don't care whether we live or die. As we speak right now, young people like you are being abducted, tortured, murdered in cold blood. Those that are lucky not to be murdered are being imprisoned.
They'll pay for it.
For no reason. Just yesterday, many of people that were involved in peaceful demonstrations, which are provided by our law, they are provided by our law, but are being treated like rebels, while rapists, while thieves, while con men and con women using the name of God are going scot-free. While people that abuse the rights of citizens are meeting the president. That is where we are as a nation. It is very, very important that we come face to face with the reality of the country that we are living in. It is very, very important. There has been every effort to vulgarize this, our cause, as usual politics. But let's look at the facts. Our hospitals continue to go without drugs. Go to the education system, messed up completely. Go to our hospitals, go to the police stations. You will find people that have spent a month in police stations. Why? Because the OC or DPC wants to extort money from them. That is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's unfortunate that this should have been sorted by our grandfathers. It did not get completed. Then our fathers and mothers had to sort it. They did not. Yes, I agree with you, President Bazira, that we shouldn't blame them. But again, here is a generation that will take the blame if we do nothing about this. Who is going to blame us? We, our children, and our children's children. Why? Because we know. If we didn't know, that would be a different thing altogether. But we know. But that having been said, I want to encourage you, friends. We have by and large one. One that the most powerful of our mind anymore. They know we are an enlightened generation. We know everything that is wrong. And we have taken a step further to speak about them. That is why you find a few other than you can't do any more that they can't convince you. Because we are with leadership that cannot give that people the fingernails for not agreeing with them. What explanation is the going to give you for preparing an election and a campaign? What explanation are they going to give you? Are we going to take because in a generation where those boundaries are already broken with time and with your effort? We can no longer be divided by our enemy. We can no longer be divided by our genders, by our classes. We can no longer be divided by our religious affiliation. That is something to celebrate. However, what do we do that? I personally always feel a load on me, which same load all of you have on your shoulders. We all this country. We have that knowledge, whether educated or uneducated. For you educated people, and it's you are home, you know what's wrong with our economy. You know what's wrong with our education. You know what's wrong with the way we're being. I know how we can make it better. For those that are uneducated, we have to work because past 7, they are not allowed to work. also what connection between COVID-19 and he can find a connection. But because General Museveni feels like that is his easiest way of keeping people under slavery and under subjugation, he does that. The farmer knows the kilo of maize is as low as 200, sometimes 300 shillings. A villager knows because 2 or 3 debes of coffee are the ones that buy a kilo of meat. Okay, everybody knows because a liter of milk is as low as who comes from Barara? 400 shillings. Okay, a nation. We are connected by the aspirations we want as a nation, as a generation. So what makes it your duty, you who are here